Welcome to qnawire.
Here we're comparing public goods and common resources in terms of their externalities and free market and efficient quantities. So part A here, for these public goods, we'd like to know if there are generally positive or negative externalities associated with them. And what we tend to see with these public goods is positive externalities. And the reason we see these positive externalities is because the benefits from this public good received by one person that does not impact whatever benefits another person may receive from this public good. So we see here is that the social value of the public good is much greater than its private value. And we could see some examples of this in terms of, say, national defense. Right? If one person receives the benefit here, everybody else is still able to receive a similar benefit. It's not used up by that one person. And because these public goods, a good term to remember here is that these are non-excludable. So what this is telling us is that this free market quantity of these non-excludable goods is equal to 0, meaning that our free market quantity is going to be less than the efficient quantity. Now, part B here, we're doing the same thing, but we're talking in terms of common resources instead. Now, common resources, on the other hand, are going to be excludable goods and excludable resources. So what this is telling us is that when one person uses a good, or whatever it is, this resource, this common resource, when one person uses part of it up, there's going to be less of it for the next person. So we see here are going to be negative externalities. And a good example here is fish. If there's a lake and there's a certain quantity of fish within there, which is known as a common resource, if somebody goes and they fish for, say they fish out 20 fish, well, now the next person that goes there is going to have 20 fewer fish that they can fish out. So we're going to see this negative externality associated with the common resource. And what we oftentimes tend to see is because these common resources are not actually priced, right? We don't go to the lake and buy the fish we fish out, we just fish them out. We tend to see an overuse of these resources, in which case this is telling us that our private cost of the resource is actually going to be less than the social cost. So what we see here is our efficient quantity is actually less than this free market quantity when it comes to these common resources. And I think that the main difference to highlight between these two is really this difference between non-excludable and excludable goods.